At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, Tier1RacingLeague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDayBot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an Easy Day download now at EasyDayBot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Razor thin. This is the Tier 1 Truck Series, and tonight we will kick off the playoffs in spectacular fashion with the Tier 1 Truck Series playoff opener. 60 laps of intense, strategic, edge-of-your-seat action presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. The regular season is now in the rearview mirror, and now the top drivers in the series have come to Alabama's legendary 2.66-mile trial vault to prove that they belong in the fight for the championship. With big of drafting, bump drafts, and big moves, Talladega always delivers the unexpected, and tonight promises no less. It's win and continue your quest for a championship. Wreck, and your title hopes could go up in smoke. The pressure is on, and the field is stacked, and the green flag is just around the corner here. Welcome to Talladega. My name is Zachary Woods. I'm delighted to be up here in the booth with the man behind the curtain in production, Brett Bullard. We are Tier 1 Studios and are delighted that you are tuning in for some playoff action here at Talladega. Qualifying is underway right now as some of these drivers are trying to lay down some fast laps around this iconic speedway, and these guys know that when it comes to Dega, it's not about where you start. It only matters where you finish. Here on the screen, you have David Mayo. He will be our in-race reporter tonight in that Hellman's number 08 machine. Matthew Erickson making his way around the racetrack. He will start this playoff run 7th in points. We'll go over points here in a little bit for you guys after the starting grid is revealed. Frank Chavez here in the 23 machine. He's racing for the glory here at Talladega. Not one of your playoff entries. Eddie Baker, a huge story coming into Talladega. as he sits P2 in the Truck Series standings, now gunning for a championship in that Sullivan Tire number 84 truck. Qualifying is winding down now, about 25 more seconds left here of this session, and then we will transition into what will be pre-race warm-ups, basically an opportunity for drivers to go out there, practice one time of pit road entry. That would be how typically I would use the warm-up opportunity here at the plate track, grab a couple buddies and go out there and try to make your way down pit road. We'll bring in, when we get to the warm-up session, our in-race reporter, Matthew. I got Matthew on the brain. We'll bring in our in-race reporter, David Mayo, and talk to him, get his expectations around DEGA. His teammate, Bill Sleep, is looking to start from the bottom in his quest for a championship. He will roll off the 12th competitor when it comes to trying to make a claim for Tier 1 Truck Series glory. Warm-up has started, and let's bring in our in-race reporter, David Mayo. It's Zach Woods up in the booth. You have a copy?
Hey, Zach Woods. How you doing, buddy? Yes, I do.
I'm doing well. Good to hear from you, David. This is it's a rare occasion to have you here in the Truck Series. It's been a little while, but we know that your buddy Bill's running for a championship now. He's 12th in the standings, trying to gun for this championship hunt. What do you have to do as a teammate to ensure that you're in the best position you got to be towards the end of this 60-lap event?
Just somewhere around him where I can help him get to the front. Just if I can be right behind him the whole race, I'd be right behind him just to help push him forward and keep his momentum going. Pit with him, pit out with him. Try to stay as close as I can to him. Give him the help where he needs it. And just some talk and then keeping his momentum going, keeping his I guess his emotions high, keeping him up there, ready to go. Keep pushing that foot. To the bottom, to the floor, and just keep him going.
Well, David, you roll off third tonight. You qualified P3 for tonight's event. So
pretty surprising. It's been a minute.
Yeah, coming out of I don't want to say semi-retirement or nothing. You've been racing other places, but you're in the Truck Series. You just kind of come out of nowhere and you snag third place. So going to be a little bit of a finagling to get to your teammate Bill, but other than that, it looks like strong. A lot of good speed there, at least single car speed for you in that 08 car.
The truck feels really good, nice and snug to the track, and you definitely behind. I found in practice that when you're definitely behind the person and pushing, you do the rear of the truck gets light. I did notice the rear truck gets pretty light, so you got to be really careful with that, and then. Just hopefully the speed keeps up with us and we get, Bill in front of us and we can push him to a win.
All right, sounds good, David. We'll let you go. We'll get back to you on the end of stage 1.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Thanks, Zach.
And that is our in-race reporter, David Mayo. You can see some of these drivers trying to jostle for position here in the warm-up. Let's take a look at your standings, your playoff standings for the Tier 1 Truck Series. Now that the dust has settled, we have a field of 12, and these drivers are going to be jockeying for position all night long. You can see how the playoffs is set up where you do have guys that are the haves and have-nots here, right? We go from 12 to 6, and right now it's Greg Wood Jr. They're sitting on the bubble, +1 to the cutoff line, and Matthew Erickson chilling in 7th right behind him. Both Titletown teammates looking to progress their way up the charts. Greg did squeeze in to the session, so he did not lay down a qualifying lap. He'll start from the back, likewise with his teammate Caleb Collins. So these names up on the screen are ones that you, I'm sure, will be rooting for all night long. We'll keep a careful eye on how they rack up stage points throughout the night. Speaking of just Tier 1 in general, there's a lot going on when it comes to Tier 1. We're a busy place, and if you don't want to miss the action, please like, comment, and subscribe here to Tier 1 Studios, where you won't miss a thing, including our special event or special event race rather, that is going to be held on August 16th at 8:45 Eastern. This is going to be the Tier 1 Racing League 200. Details for that is that the session will open up at 8 p.m. Eastern. Xfinity Series cars that will be set up with a custom fixed setup provided by Tier 1 Setup Shop will be making their way with, I'm sure, a lot of talented drivers. And ultimately, these guys are going to be racing for some big money when it comes to this special event. An entry fee is $25, but the payout for this special event race will be that the top 5 finishers get paid. 2 random finishers will also take home prizes, much like what we did here last week, or 2 weeks ago rather, for a special donation to one driver that randomly finished in the field. So you have 7 opportunities to get paid for your time, and then there are 43 slots available for this race. If more than 43 drivers sign up, you'll have to qualify your way into the special event here. If you have any questions, find the Tier 1 Racing League Discord for more info. Let's turn our attention now to the starting lineup when it comes to this race at Talladega. Jordan Baroob carrying some mighty momentum in that 22 machine. Going to roll off first with Dakota Ramsdale to his outside. David Mayo, our in-race reporter, will start third. Matthew Erickson, 4th place starting position for that Titletown Racing machine. Scott Milliken in the 3 will don the 5th place spot, and Bill Sleep will start beside him from 6th. Jared Hayes, 7th. Justin Sumner, watch that 94 truck to weave his way up to the front. In 8th, Frank Chavez. 9th, Dave Harrington. 10th, Eddie Baker. 11th, and Thomas Adams. 12th, with Greg Wood Jr. and Caleb Collins rounding out the rest of the field. Man, we are ready to go. As you can see, the trucks are rolling away. A lot of action here tonight at Talladega, with a lot on the line for these competitors, and I am so excited to be up here in the booth to present it all to you. You have followed the stories all season long, the quest for various drivers to get a win. Will Dakota Ramsdale finally get a win on this season? That 83 machine has been so good all year long. Will the reign from Eddie Baker continue in this series? Will Justin Sumner figure out how to close races? Many storylines continue to flow here, but ultimately they're all chasing Justin Sumner as he leads the point standings heading into the first race of the season, of the postseason, I guess I should say, as the game totally changes for these competitors. Lights are out on the pace truck. That lets you know that we will be going green this time by. And the quest for a championship will begin for 12 of the drivers here on the Tier 1 roster. Side by side in your front row are competitors that have really turned it up in the last few weeks. Jordan Baroob and Dakota Ramsdale. And that big Texan Autoplex machine. Can he get it done today? Only time will tell. Stages will be lap 15 and lap 30 for this 60-lap event. So the drivers can catch a breather. But between now and then, we got some action-packed racing to do. Drivers are rip-roaring and ready to go through the long tri-oval section here at DEGA. And it will be Jordan Baroob leading the field to green. And we are underway here from Talladega. Nice solid start there from the top line. As Matthew Erickson looks to push, but you can see that bottom lane has a lot more trucks in it ready to go. As that bottom lane catches up to speed, side drafting here in these trucks is a huge deal for tonight's event, and you have to find who you're comfortable with here early on. look at David Mayor in Race Reporter getting all over the back bumper of the 22 machine. A key for these drivers is to just hold a steady wheel into the corners. David talked about during the warm-up session that when you were on a guy in front of you, the back of your truck really got light, so these drivers are going to be battling some handling challenges that are very similar to real-world conditions. And give that first lap lead to Jordan Baru. Double file as far as the eye can see as lap 1 turns into lap 2. Side by side, we continue to ride. That's the bottom lane. Way more tucked in together. But you will find pretty quickly that that does lead to stack-ups on corner entry. And oftentimes that's where chaos reigns the most. You can see on that high line, Ericsson getting a little out of shape there on corner entry. That's going to hurt that top line significantly. As now the bottom lane pulls out a full 2 truck lengths ahead of the top. Momentum will carry the top through the trial. And Ramsdell going to fight back on that high line. No need to get real crazy with the side draft here early on. I mean, it is only lap 3, and for Medi, you might look at the ticker and go, well, 60 laps, that's not a long time. Well, 60 laps here at DEGA, it feels like an eternity here in these trucks, and your only hope is that you can stick with the draft for as long as you possibly can. Because if you're all by yourself for any long period of time here, you are significantly slower than the rest of the pack here in the trucks. It makes for quite a boring drive. Some would argue, though, that it is safer than being in the hornet's nest that we see up front. Right now, both lanes minding P's and Q's as Ericsson now pushes Dakota Ramsdell to the lead. Ericsson looks to peek to the outside, thinks better of it, tucks back in. Bottom lane, a bit of a gap there between the 3 and 66 machines. That's going to hurt them here down the backstretch. Going into 3 and 4 now, fender to fender. These guys are not willing to budge an inch here for the front row. Good help from, I hesitate to say unlikely suspects. I know how both Mayo and Ericsson run at these plate tracks. They are very, very good plate racers in their own regards. So I think the field has taken some notice here early on. That's a great shot of all these drivers here. And really, you look at guys like Greg Wood and Caleb Collins back there, a couple car lengths back, even further on back there. You see how that last car in the field, how strung back he is. I think that's Thomas Adams there in the 25. He's in no danger of losing the pack from right there. He can make that gap up pretty quickly, as you can see. And look at this, 3 wide up high and handsome. Here comes Eddie Baker. And that's a benefit of riding from the back. You can get monster runs. Look at this, 6 positions gained. And the 46 down on the apron. He's up into the fence, collecting Frank Chavez. I think Caleb Collins also got a piece of it. And the 46 was on the apron in the entry of turn 1. Let's take a look here. Ooh, just not really maybe getting that call that you're clear. Thomas Adams, great wreck avoidance there. Kind of gets put in an awkward spot just because of how the field sort of jumbles up. He doesn't really commit there. There's a little bit of net code, but they definitely would have hit either way. Hard hit for the 23. He is broke. with no fast repairs tonight. That might be the end of Frank Chavez's day. I'll give the lead now to Jordan Baroob, at least for the moment. Jordan always makes it super easy for us up here in the booth during cautions whenever he's leading, so we can talk about sponsors. Easy Daybot is on the hood of that 22 machine. Stream smarter, chat better, and grow your community with Easy Daybot. This innovative Twitch and Discord bot takes interaction to the next level, keeping your audience engaged and connected. Don't just stream, build a community with Easy Daybot. Don't listen to us talk about it when you can try it out now. And also, on the rear quarter panel of that machine, you also see AdminBoxx. AdminBoxx is built by iRacers for iRacers for the use in leagues and hosted races. The goal is to make race control as easy as possible. Each AdminBoxx connects via USB and features pre-programmed commands, no key binding, for race control. The AdminBoxx community is made up of over 150 leagues. Many members all have a common mission to run nice, clean races and help each other out. That's AdminBoxx. As you can see, drivers making their way down pit road. Thomas Adams overshoots his pit stall, kind of in there a little awkwardly as Eddie Baker stops on pit road. Greg Wood, Jared Hayes, Caleb Collins, Adams, and Chavez continues to be on pit road. You can see the little icon there on the pit road tower. I know it's a doodad that our producer Brett Bullard was super excited about. That icon there signifies that he has mandatory repairs that he has to do before he leaves the pit box. This tool can also be useful. We don't quite know yet, but hopefully over time we'll find out. When we're sitting up here in the booth wondering, hey, did that guy get a pit road penalty? In theory, that black flag should appear beside your, well, hopefully not your favorite driver, but your driver on pit road, and they will be serving a penalty. And we up here in the booth will have an opportunity to see that and convey that information to you. Field still has some time going around this racetrack to figure out some fuel mileage. That is a very up close and personal shot of the shock or the spring of I assume Matthew Erickson's truck. That is definitely a unique setup option, which is something that Tier 1 Setup Shop is all about. Racers, it's time to level up. We're proud to introduce Tier 1 Setup Shop, a fresh new name in iRacing. It's more than just fast setups. Our mission, simple. Help you perform your best on track and feel supported off of it. And Tier 1, we're not here to drop a setup and disappear. We believe in feedback, collaboration, and community. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just dipping into open sets, your input helps us improve every single build. We're launching with competitive setups for Cup, trucks, late models, mods, legends, and more. And if you got questions or need adjustments or just want to talk racing, we're here. Real support, real people, not just transactions. Visit Tier 1 Setup Shop as they are geared up and ready to go for the latest iRacing needs. Visit tier1setupshop.com and hop on to the Discord to join the team or give feedback or just hang out with fellow racers. That is the presenter of our Tier 1 Truck Series League, our title sponsor, Tier 1 Setup Shop. Lights are out on the pace truck as these drivers are going to set their sights on the completion of lap 15 with that incident between Jared Hayes and Frank Chavez. That does bring about some strategy as Caleb Collins, Eddie Baker, Thomas Adams, and Greg Wood Jr. all came down pit road that last time by. So really interesting strategies here. You do that now so that you don't take as much fuel later. I kind of like that call, especially given that those guys were further back in the field, minus Eddie Baker. Maybe the balance of the truck gets a little different. If you're a Jared Hayes supporter, just know he had damage he needed to repair. He is out of pit road, currently 1 lap down. Drivers are side by side and ready to go. It's Jordan Baroob and our in-race reporter, David Mayo, starting up front here to begin lap 10 of what will be hopefully a 5-lap shootout to end stage 1. What can the newcomer do here on the restart? And through the restart zone, and we are back green. Little tires, you see him fanning out there. Way less cohesive than the first restart of the race. Mayo, I think, is going to get hung out to dry here a little. Whoa, a little bit. Never mind. What a move there by the 08 machine, cutting right in front of Matthew Erickson there. Matthew said, no, thank you. I'm hopping up to the top line. Going to try to get a run here on the leaders. He's being pushed by the 66 machine and Dave Harrington. Here comes those trucks who pitted, making it a 3-wide rally up top. Oh, bumping, beating, banging. Erickson stuck in the sucker hole. Gotta keep a straight wheel. That is Justin Sumner up there on that high line being pushed by Caleb Collins and Greg Wood Jr. Thomas Adams not too far behind them. See what that top lane can do. That bottom lane clearly has the numbers, though. Meanwhile, Erickson, who was up front, slicing and dicing, made his way through the sucker hole almost all the way to the back of the field. 2 by 2 now, as the front 5 are now without a driver to their outside. Baroob continues to lead Ramsdell, Mayo, and Milliken now up +1 from where he started. Look at Milliken jumping to the top lane. He's going to get hung out to dry in the sucker hole. I'll tell you what, Matthew Erickson really rebounded. He was last about 2 corners ago. And now he's fighting back on the top lane, being pushed by Sumner. Look at the 83 push all the way up to the high line. They almost make contact. Ramsdell now stuck in the sucker hole going backwards. These drivers trying to defend lanes and carry momentum. 4 wide now for second place. Down the backstretch they go. As Mayo leaves Baroob out to dry. Baroob will have to settle back in behind all this and now give the lead to Matthew Erickson. Being pushed by Justin Sumner, it's Matthew Erickson to the point. Erickson punched his ticket in the playoffs by winning Daytona at the beginning of the year, so it's no surprise to see Erickson up front right now. Caleb Collins getting a huge push now from the 83 of Ramsdell. Collins looks to drop down. He didn't commit fast enough. He'll be stuck in the sucker hole, but doing that will bring the 22 machine back to him. Greg Wood Jr. back here in the middle of this, trying to figure out what lane he's going in. Sucker hole is now prime real estate for some of these drivers. 3 wide down the backstretch, barreling into turn 3 they go. Looks like everybody's going to behave. Good thing about DEGA is that it's really wide and you can figure things out in the span of a corner or so. And they have. 2 by 2 they roll now with Caleb Collins now looking to lead a lap. Not quite sure if it's going to happen, though. All the way through this long tri-oval. Give that lap to Caleb Collins. Jockeying now for stage points and perhaps a stage win might be the driver of the 72 machine, Caleb Collins. This would be huge for him. Shoves getting more aggressive all the way down the backstretch. trying to be as aggressive as possible as the 10th place driver in points is battling right now to win the stage in the 72 machine. Both drivers right now on the front row came into this race on the outside looking in for the next round of the playoffs. This is exactly how they wanted to start their playoff run as the 22 peeks to the inside of the 72. Greg Wood Jr. now picks up his teammate on the third lane. Truck's getting a little upset now. Gotta be patient. Here comes the middle groove as Collins gets hung out to dry. It's Ericsson down the backstretch. He's gonna have to defend both lanes. Being pushed by Justin Sumner. I don't know if it's gonna be enough though. Look at this run here by Dakota Ramsdell, shoving Jordan Barug back out to the front. Side draft will be paramount here going to the start finish line. Look at this, how close they are to one another. Ericsson lays it on the door of the 22. The top line getting squirrely now through the tri-oval. More jockeying for position happens and gives stage 1 to the driver of the 28, Matthew Ericsson. Wow, what a drive by Matthew Ericsson, getting pushed by Justin Sumner. Ericsson, Sumner, Ramsdell, Mayo. Some of these drivers haven't quite set up their finishing positions yet, and I don't want to give you guys bad information that might be watching, so we'll wait for these guys to catch up to the pace car. But I think as it sits right now, at the very least, your top 5 are all drivers who decided not to come down on pit road during lap 7. And he defended that very well. Matthew Ericsson needing a big points day today, reminding the field, hey, this is a discipline I got down. Throwing haymakers with some of these guys that have been so good every race. Justin Sumner, Ramsdell, Barub was up there. His hot streak before the playoffs. I like this. Got an old name throwing his hat back in the ring to start stage 1 of the playoffs. Ericsson, Sumner, Ramsdell, Mayo, Sleep, Collins, Wood, Barub, Milliken, and Adams all gained stage points as it currently stands. That's a huge loss if it stands that way for Eddie Baker. Big missed opportunity from him, missing out on stage points. So we'll have to see how these drivers make their way down pit road and get serviced. Everybody's coming in, more than likely. Jared Hayes will be getting his lap back. You can see that pink machine driving out around the pace car. So if you're a Jared Hayes fan, you know your buddy's back on the lead lap. Some drivers missing their pit stalls here. Arrington had a bit of a difficulty getting into his stall. That race off pit road's really close. Wow. You see just the difference. 8.5, 8.2. Greg Wood a 7.7 pit stop. That points to the fact that Greg, he pitted on lap 7, needed less fuel to pack that truck full. Baker, Harrington, I think Harrington might be getting some damage repaired, or maybe him jostling to get into his stall was part of the issue of his stop. Let's bring up our in-race reporter now, David Mayo. David, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach, yes I do.
Hey, bud, you were wheeling that 08 machine out there in the stage, and
yes, it was fun.
It was very interesting. Talk to the fans about your experience so far.
Yeah, it's been so long since I've been in one of these trucks. I'm really, really enjoying it. These things get light in traffic. They do. They want to wash around a little bit. But other than that, man, it's just been a blast. I'm having such a good time out there with the guys. Everybody's driving really good, smart, and keeping their lines, and it's just been really, really good, man. Everybody should be one of these trucks. Everybody. Yeah. Come on down, have some fun. The water's fine.
You might just be the most enthusiastic in-race reporter I've ever had, and this is great. You should come around more often. But
heck yeah, but if I can make it in time for these races, I'd be here.
I know. Well, good luck here in stage 2. It goes till lap 30, but we're ticking away some laps right now, so it's a little bit of a shorter sprint than that first time around.
Right, exactly. It should be good. It should be a good sprint too. We should be hopefully go green the whole way. It'd be great.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you here at the end of stage 2.
Thanks, Zach. Have a good booth up there.
Yep. Right. And that is the most enthusiastic in-race reporter I think I have ever had. Normally, drivers dread being the in-race reporter for fear of the commentator's curse, but not David Mayo. He's having a great time. So thanks to David for being so excited of coming back here and racing well. I mean, that 08 machine, he's shown a lot of speed out there so far. So man, if he is that excited to finish probably 6th in the stage, 7th in the stage, imagine his excitement if he winds up winning the whole thing. I don't know if the internet might be able to handle such excitement, but these drivers are now side by side and ready to go to start stage 2. Reminder that stage 2 will end upon the completion of lap 30. So a bit of a shorter stint here, as caution laps do count here at Talladega. So as pit cycles go and as the field makes their way around and gets sorted, that's precious time in the stage. So this stage is going to feel maybe a little more anxious as these drivers make their way to the front. For that caution we had early on, things were pretty chill, I guess I could probably say, with drivers being very patient with one another. But then you could just feel the intensity kick up as we got closer and closer to the stage. There's no time to just mind your P's and Q's here. It's jockey for position and get that track position now. So these drivers are getting ready to go. It will be Matthew Erickson leading the field to green, with Dakota Ramsdell to his outside, being pushed by Justin Sumner starting in 3rd on the bottom lane. Let's see how the 28 is able to get a restart through the box on new tires. Through the zone, and we're back underway. A little bit of wheel spin from both competitors. I think the 28 handled that one pretty well, but he's not as linked up, I'm sure, as what you want to be. And Greg Wood Jr. dives down to the inside, trying to maximize some gains here on the restart. Nice push here from Baru, pushing Ramsdell hopefully back to the lead as Caleb Collins jumps up to the high lane. And the sucker hole's back in play, as that top lane did not get the momentum as desired. Here comes Eddie Baker up through the middle. Thomas Adams left out to dry. He'll drop back here. Top lane did not get rolling on that restart. Bottom lane's the way to go right now, as Erickson being pushed by Sumner and Greg Wood Jr. continue to pull ahead. The tri-oval, there's some ground made on that top lane. But when people fan out, as you can see a bit further back, around 7th, 8th, and 9th, that top lane's going to lose a lot of momentum. And now the 72 is going to lay some air there on the 22 machine. Pull that middle lane back. Top lane's got some numbers. And look at this, Ramsdell leaving his drafting buddy out to dry. In the sucker hole goes Barub. Big story of the year. Dakota Ramsdell, so close so many times. has not gotten the win quite yet. Looking strong here early on. Right now, it's that top lane not really gaining a lot of momentum as the bottom lane continues to stay dedicated towards one another. Rolling through turns 1 and 2. First side-by-side battle we have really is for about the 8th, 9th place position on track. Oh, Ramsdell into the fence. He's able to save it. Bill Sleep throwing some elbows up there in the second lane. Sure, Ramsdell not quite happy with that. Bill Sleep now getting a push from the 72. Ramsdell might be off the pace entirely, but he has caught the draft of Scott Milliken back there, so he'll be all right. Battle now is for 4th as Bill Sleep looks to make his way to the front. Talked about playoff hopefuls, and on the bottom of the totem pole was Bill Sleep. Came into the playoffs 12th in points, needing a monster day here from Talladega. Getting pushed by Caleb Collins. Bill Sleep looks to make his name known as he's fighting for the lead. Both lanes not really as unified as they could be right now as jockeying for position continues. As we now grab lap 24 of this 60-lap event. Lap 30's coming, folks. Top lane looks as unified as it has been in a long time, and as I say that, Caleb Collins goes to jump up high. No help's coming. Here comes Scott Milliken now, and Ramsdell shortly behind him. Problem is, you have 3 up at the top lane, 3 in the middle lane. Both should fizzle out. Bill Sleep wisely ducks in low. Oh, Milliken's gonna get turned off the nose of the 22 machine. Spatial awareness there, and I think that's Eddie Baker also involved. And that was just the case of trying to follow the guy in front of you where they're going, but you got a guy to your inside. Milliken saw the 72, I suppose, fading low, trying to follow Caleb Collins. And that is a decent lick there from Eddie Baker. Big points ramifications right now for the driver who sat 2nd in points. As Baroob, who looked strong early, gets into him. He's in the fence. We're going to go side by side during this yellow flag segment so you don't miss if your favorite driver goes down pit road. And we'll be right back.
At Tier 1 Setup Shop, we're not just setup builders. We're racers, league admins, and part of the same sim community you are. We build setups for the full NASCAR ladder, Cup, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and the grassroots warriors of short track racing, late models, legends, SK, and tour mods, all tested and refined in real race conditions. We listen, we adjust, we improve, because your input makes our setups better.
Are you looking for a league that has racing 3 nights a week or special event races? Tier 1 Racing League is here for you. Most races are broadcasted by our very own Tier 1 studio. From dirt track to super speedways, Tier 1 has side-by-side racing with real drivers and real rivalries. If you wish to join us, go to our website, tier1racingleague.com, where you can find our Discord link and much more information. Don't forget to subscribe to our Tier 1 Studio YouTube and Twitch channels so you don't miss the action.
Are you ready to take your Twitch and Discord experience to the next level? Introducing EasyDaybot, your ultimate bot for seamless interaction. Whether you're live on Twitch or chatting on Discord, EasyDayBot's dynamic responses open up a whole new world of possibilities. Engage with your community like never before through unique prompts, custom reactions, and endless fun. It's the bot that understands you. Make every day an Easy Day download now at easydaybot.com.
New to Tier 1, first-time customers get 30% off your first purchase, excluding subscriptions. And if you're a streamer, league, or broadcaster, join our sponsorship program. Share your code, your community gets 10% off, and you earn $1 per setup sold with it. Tier 1 Setup Shop. Built with you, built for you. Every lap, every week.
Welcome back to Talladega. As you can see there on the scoring pylon, driver 7th on back came down pit road that last time by. So starting with Greg Wood Jr., you're able to see some guys make their way down pit road. We see the 3-car peeling off right now, trying to play some strategy perhaps. Eddie Baker also on pit road. Baker, we did go back in timing and scoring and found out that Eddie did finish 10th in the stage. So does have a point, an extra one, I guess I should say, going for him in stage play tonight. So it could be worse. It could be 1 point worse. So Eddie's been able to salvage some stuff right now and hopefully get that truck repaired well so he can get back out there and compete. Right now, as you can see on the ticker, he's still down on pit road. But up front, we're going to see Matthew Erickson, who's been very strong tonight in that Tier 1 setup shop machine. Perhaps facing a bit of a problem. And in fact, the first 2 rows have exactly the same problem. You see, Erickson has worked really, really well tonight with Justin Sumner. And I'm sure they really want to be nose to tail to one another. Well, we also heard from the beginning of the race that David Mayo wants to be pushing his teammate Bill Sleep, as Bill's continuing to fight for a championship. Well, both of these, let's say, friends here at Talladega, because in the case of the 94 and 28 machine, they're not teammates. They have found each other. They're just not nose to tail. They're just side by side with each other. So right now your friends are where you find them. So Mayo's going to have to push Sumner really well in this restart and hope that this top lane gets going, as it has struggled for much of the evening. Only a couple laps here now until lap 30. So these drivers are going to do everything they can to maximize stage points. As the lights are off on the pace truck, it makes that turn on to pit road. 27 will turn to 28, and Erickson looking to capture a stage win tonight, here now in stage 2. Let's see what Matthew Erickson's got for the field as we get rolling back to green. Big jump here from the 28. 65 not really on him versus that top lane. We'll see how this one goes as drivers continuing to push hard there on that top lane. Greg Wood Jr. all over the back bumper of David Mayo. Those two have worked together in the past, so they have history. They know how each other likes the draft at these places. But Greg Wood Jr. looking to maximize his opportunity to gain some points. Look at David Mayo to the inside. Our in-race reporter drops down in front of Matthew Erickson. He's in the catbird seat for P1 right now. Mayo out front being pushed by Erickson. The top lane features heavy hitters Sumner and Greg Wood Jr. Drivers searching for grip, searching for power through the tri-oval. Greg Wood Jr. is such a great pusher here at these tracks. Trying to do everything he can to push the 94 to the lead. 94 is clear of both lanes. I'm sure he doesn't want to leave his drafting partner at the moment as that middle lane continues to roll. Look at Thomas Adams, third car in line there up top. Here comes Eddie Baker. That looks like that truck's all the way prepared. Whoa, all three of those trucks dive down to the low lane, and that middle lane just totally dissolves out as Thomas Adams moves into third place. Mayo wanting a shot at the stage, he goes to the top lane. Being pushed by, look at this, Jared Hayes. He was involved in an accident, got damage repaired. And these drivers have now caught lap 30. Gotta make it back to the start-finish line. Who will win the stage? Right now, it's Justin Sumner's to grab. Top lane not really organized going down the backstretch. Can Mayo climb his way back up? Through 3 and 4, Mayo looking to the outside of Thomas Adams. Adams all over the back bumper of his teammate Greg Wood Jr. Jr. moves up to the top lane. He's going to pick up Mayo. Side draft off the 94. Looking to get to the stage through the Trialville. Greg Wood Jr. slams the door on the 94. And it will be the 67 claiming stage 2. Huge run there on the outside lane as well by Dakota Ramsdell. Able to gain a ton of spots there from the space of turn 4 to the start-finish line. Good run from the 83, but it will be the driver out of Hagerstown, Maryland, claiming stage 2. And he pitted on lap 25, able to make his way up through the field. These drivers are I'm sure taking a deep breath right now, trying to put in the memory bank. All right, these are the moves that worked. These are the ones that didn't. I'm going to just keep them in my pocket, and hopefully I'm in that same spot at the end to learn from what just happened in these first 2 stages. As the drivers catch the field, I want to talk to you guys that might be watching Tier 1 Studios often about the THDesigns ARCA Series race tomorrow at Charlotte. And that'll be presented by, that'll be brought to you. Oh, goodness gracious. I got producer Brett in my ear getting me all flustered. What are we doing up here? THDesigns is the title sponsor for the ARCA Series, but it will be easily viewed by you by here, Tier 1 Studio, which is why we always tell you guys to like, comment, and subscribe for all the Tier 1 action that's happening. It's more than just Truck Series stuff. These guys have a lot going on right now that is action-packed, and tomorrow we're going to see some ARCA cars from Charlotte. And Greg Wood Jr., who's your leader right now, he's the points leader for the THDesigns ARCA Series. And definitely looking for some great action tomorrow. If you don't have a favorite driver in the ARCA Series, I encourage you to watch. Maybe root for the driver of the number 6 car. Maybe you'll like him a little more. But these drivers are on pit road, ready to go. And looks like 3 drivers stayed out. Wood, Sumner, and Adams. Race off of pit road. You can see there on your screen. I'm actually pretty surprised that Justin Sumner stayed out. He pitted on lap 17. Meanwhile, Greg Wood Jr. and Thomas Adams, both teammates, pitted on lap 25. Well, he was really giddy there at the end of stage 1. I can't imagine what he's like now because he was leading there towards the end. Let's bring up our buddy up here, David Mayo. You got a copy?
Hey, Zach Woods. Yes, I do. I'm right here Ready and willing.
Man, you were giving us something to talk about there towards the end of that stage.
That was heck of fun. I'm running these trucks, man. It's been so long since I've been in these trucks. It's been so crazy. I'm having a ball. These are so fun, Zach. So much
well,
fun.
you have a stretch now between now and the end of this race. It's a bit longer now, so you got to worry about fuel. You got to worry about making sure that you're with the right people there at the end. What's your strategy now? As now we're not racing like it's the last lap every lap. Now we got to kind of tick off some laps here.
Yeah, like the end of the last stage, we took fuel only and we checked tires. Tires were still 100%, so we're looking good there. This stint too, I didn't just did fuel only again, and the tires are still like they're at 99%. So tires are looking good. Fuel, we're going to be about 8 laps short, I think, on fuel to stay out, to the end. So we'll definitely have to make a green. Hopefully do a green flag pit stop. But I don't know. We'll probably throw a yellow in there. We got to get some fuel out, within 8 laps or so. So we just got to play it by ear. Just kind of run here, be patient, and just see what we can do with what we got, and then try to get Bill up there. I think he's right behind me. So yeah, so we're looking good that way, and. I don't know, Zach. Just gotta hope the cards fall in the right places, and we swim upriver. So let's see how it goes.
All right, David. Well, thank you for being an awesome in-race reporter. If you snag one of those top 3 spots, we'll be talking to you here at the end of this one.
That'd be awesome. I would love to go up there with Bill.
Awesome. Good luck, David.
All right, buddy. Appreciate that. Have fun up there.
Man, I mean, how can you not like David Mayo? What an awesome interview. He's so excited to be here. I know that David does a lot of extra stuff, and it's something that you might not know about David. He's a very avid fisherman, and I get envious of all of his fishing posts online, and oftentimes he finds himself out on a lake in a boat somewhere, and just doesn't always have the time to compete on the iRacing service super consistently. But man, when he's around, you're in for a fun time. And these drivers are in for a fun time here as we get ready to start the last stint of this race. Lap 34 will turn into lap 35 of the 60-lap event, and it will be 3 drivers who did not pit under that last caution, with Greg Wood Jr., Justin Sumner, and Thomas Adams. Now that we know from David Mayo, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it, and I just pitted, that gives a little bit of clarity as to why these drivers up front decided to stay out, keep track position, stay out of the chaos. It will be Greg Wood Jr., your Stage 2 winner, leading the field to green here. Through the restart zone we go, and hopefully that bottom lane gets a great jump, and indeed it does. Maybe too big of a gap between the 67 and his teammate, Thomas Adams. And all that's for naught as the 94 drops in behind him. And these drivers are now sorting themselves out here with 26 laps to go. Whoa, David Mayo, big, huge move up top, trying to catch his teammate. But meanwhile, back up front, you have the top 4 are able to drive out without somebody to their outside. That is going to change here very quick, because this guy who we left for dead not too long ago, who went a lap down early in this race, has got that truck repaired. Jared Hayes, what a comeback here in the 46 Superflow machine. He might go all the way to the lead, being pushed by David Mayo. Bill Sleep there right behind him. I love the fact that two drivers that I've talked about so often this season, and how similarly they race one another. Bill Sleep and Dave Harrington have found each other in this race. They mind their P's and Q's. They've been knocking off great solid finishes. Look at those 2 white trucks. They have found each other here in the middle of this pack. Baker trying to make something happen up there on the top lane. He's being pushed by Scott Milliken in the 3 machine. We might get pinched a little bit. Baker side drafted a lot. These lanes are going to get real crowded here on exit. Everybody handles it together. And now we are 3 wide for the lead here at Talladega. The 67, the 46, and the 84 now all side by side for the lead. 3 wide, 3 lanes back, and the 46 leads on the 84. It doesn't get much better than this, does it? These drivers, I thought we were going to be just chilling and riding here for a little while, but they're just laying it all out. Harrington backs out. You can see it's getting a little bit much. As Jared Hayes drops down to the low line. What a run here by the 46 machine. As we are 3 wide again, might be 3 wide for the lead. Coming to the start-finish line is Bill Sleep looking to push his teammate. They're kind of out on an island all by themselves. This pack of 8 has now left the pack of 4 close behind them. They're not quite in danger of losing this front group just yet. They might all be preparing for a wreck as these drivers hanging it out there right now. Thundering down the backstretch they come. 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Into 3 and 4. Look at Dave Harrington pushing the number 3 machine of Scott Milliken. The front 2 now get a gap between themselves and the rest of the field. They're able to just breathe here for a moment. Eddie Baker has manipulated some lanes here, and he finds himself battling for 4th. Getting pushed there by Scott Milliken in the 3 tops machine. Flying down the backstretch. I think now everybody's kind of caught on, right? We've done our 3 wide parade. We've jockeyed for position. There's still 22 laps to go. Some guys really can't make it. I'm thinking of mainly Justin Sumner, who actually is the only car in the field to hit on lap 17. So unless if he finds some friends that are willing to go down there with him, it's going to be a lonely pit road for the driver of the 94. But we generally know that all of the drivers in the field cannot make it. The magic number sits at 8. Now you're able to save fuel. I don't know if you're able to save 8 laps in the truck around Talladega, but we'll have to see. They're certainly not racing like they're saving. Greg Wood Jr. all over the back bumper of that Chevrolet. The Superflow machine, meanwhile, up top's getting a little bit more momentum. Milliken a little squirrely there in 3 and 4. Trying to find the balance on that 3 truck. We were told in the beginning of the race, when you're really on somebody, the back end of the truck gets light, just like that. You can see that 3 truck wobbling back and forth, trying to gain some rear traction. The guys that are chilling in the back, Matt Erickson, Caleb Collins, Thomas Adams, Dakota Ramsdell, those guys, they're just waiting. They're not in any danger of losing this pack. Sometimes they slinky back up to the field only to drop back just a little bit more. They're fine with just watching everything play out. 20 laps is a long time at DEGA. Tried to go 3 wide there and couldn't. As that 3 truck looks like there's some handling issues there on the 3 machine, especially for how aggressive he pushes. And meanwhile, guys are pitting. Greg Wood Jr. hard on the brakes. Thomas Adams definitely is going to speed here. If we have the opportunity to bring up the pylon, yes, look, it works. Greg Wood Jr. is going to get a black flag for speeding on entry, as well as Thomas Adams. What a great tool by SDK. And so that's going to mess up that group of Erickson, Sumner, Collins, Adams, and Wood. It's what was a 5-car group, which is a pretty solid group to go down pit road with, will turn into a 3-car brigade. Adams and Wood will have to hope for a caution. So the decision was made among Tuttletown Racing drivers to go down with Justin Sumner. And meanwhile, back up front, you got Eddie Baker being pushed by that 3 machine of Scott Milliken. And on the outside, Team Send It, David Mayo, high line and handsome up there with his teammate Bill Sleep. Dave Harrington not too far behind them. Looking back on the trio of trucks from that group of 5 that did not get a speeding penalty, they've gotten back in line. They're trying to make their way. 35 seconds, almost 36 seconds behind this front group. Now it'll be interesting because we were told that the magic number for these guys that are still on the track was about 8 laps to go to the end, and then they'd all have to pit. Heartbreak here for Greg Wood Jr. Thomas Adams way behind him, 6.5 seconds behind Greg. Nearly all those guys hoping for a caution. They might just get it with a group that's still side by side like this. This group here really could benefit from going into a single file line and just trying to boogie away, cut some of that distance down. Make sure that maybe we lap some of these guys or settle it between the top handful of drivers. Thomas Adams is down pit road again, at least according to my timing and scoring. Was. So these drivers continue on. Back up front, Team Send It trying hard to get Bill Sleep a great finishing position to start his playoff run. Side by side with a guy who's been there, done that, Eddie Baker, top of the pylon. In terms of wins, trying to add another feather to his cap here at Talladega. Other guys in this group that you need to know of, the 83 of Dakota Ramsdale, Jared Hayes from the 46, and then Dave Harrington just chilling back here, buying this time with 15 to go. See the split here between Harrington and the group of 3 who came down without issue before. It is going to be interesting, right? Because you have a group of 7 trucks up here right now that are obviously ultra competitive. But to get all 7 of those trucks onto pit road at the same time can be a bit of a complicated task. Chaos might find them there. We know that everyone in this front group will have to pit one more time. I'm surprised that 3 hasn't blown up. I feel like he's been tucked right underneath the 84 machine for 10 laps or so. He has not left the back bumper of that Sullivan tire machine. Then the 2 teammates up top have done a pretty good job at maintaining with just the 2 of them. "14 laps to go, will be 13 laps to go as we move through the trial oval now." There's Dakota Ramsdell moving up to the top line in the 83 machine. Now we jockey for position in terms of who's getting on pit road when. Team Sendit with a big run up top. Not able to make the pass as that bottom line rolls through those corners really well. But the order in which you go down pit road is also very important. If you're comfortable being the Pied Piper down pit road, you should be up front. You should be the one that dictates the speed. But you have to be confident that nobody's going to wind up running you over when you go down pit road either. So hitting your markers, making sure you're downshifting at the right time, so important for these drivers. Right now we focus on the top 7, but taking a peek back to the group here that's behind them. You can see the lap times there on your screen. The gap is 32.6 seconds. So it's going to be interesting to see which strategy pans out. Do you pit early? You know, you might make a mistake, but then that band of 3, are they able to just run qualifying lap after qualifying lap? And here we go. We're going to go down pit road, and I think the 3 machine is going to dive out to the outside, take a peek here on pit road, and it will be a lonely road to toe for Dave Harrington, as he is all by his lonesome out there. But when it comes to the rest of these drivers, no penalties on the pylon, so they all get down pit road safely. 8.3 from Mayo, 7.2 from Hayes. Meanwhile, this group has found a buddy. It's Greg Wood Jr. And now we watch the accordion effect between these two groups happen. Look at this. It's no contest. These drivers that pitted early, even though they found Greg Wood Jr., actually, it's going to work out pretty well for Greg if it all cycles back around. He will be the last car on the lead lap, right in front of presumed leader Caleb Collins, as Dave Harrington is on pit road right now. Black flags for Bill Sleep and David Mayo on our pylon. Perhaps too fast exiting or unsafe pit blending back onto the racetrack. So Team Sendit dual penalties for both of those drivers. It will absolutely hurt that second pack, as they will lose 2 of their teammates. And look at this group. This group has not reformed back up at all. And this race has now dramatically changed. Caleb Collins, Justin Sumner, and Matthew Erickson out in front of this group by 5 seconds. And with the addition of Greg Wood Jr. to the front of this group as the last car on the lead lap, you not only are more organized, but you have numbers. And I like the position Caleb Collins has found himself in right now. He has minded himself all race long, and now has a drafting buddy in front of him to safeguard himself against runs from behind. Remember, that 94 truck, he's worked well with the Titletown Racing drivers tonight, but he is not a teammate. So Sumner's got to have to find a way around these guys. But this, presumably, unless something crazy happens, will be your battle for the win with 9 to go. Caleb Collins comes into this race 8 points away from the cutoff line. He comes into the playoffs 10th in points. To get a win tonight would be enormous for him. Matthew Erickson, right in the back of this group. He's 1 point away from the cutoff line. He's 7th in points. It's a game changer already for him, for he's already had a strong night. Then the points leader, Justin Sumner, sitting at the top of the pylon, making sure that no matter what gains guys have, he's able to hold serve the best finish possible. Meanwhile, this group of 3 back here with Hayes, Baker, and Ramsdell. They're catching them. The gap is 3.2 seconds between Hayes and Ericsson. Yes, 3.2 seconds. So this group of 4 here, not able to outdo right now that group of 5, or that group of 3 rather, I should say. What happens now? As you can see, the lap times. And it just takes a whiff of the draft, right, for Hayes to catch up to Matthew Ericsson. Gotta run steady, calm, qualifying laps. With 7 laps to go. Can't push the pusher. Can't get jumbled up like that. Gotta be able. Manage runs well. Be comfortable running. Partial throttle, 3/4 throttle. The gap between 3rd and 4th is now down to 2.7 seconds. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Jared Hayes, Eddie Baker, and Dakota Ramsdell, I think, are gonna have a shot at winning this thing. This trio back here has not given up from pitting later in the race, getting streamed out, being outnumbered, and a valiant effort from these 3 drivers trying to make their way back into the fray. Caleb Collins gets shuffled out. Put Justin Sumner to the lead. Remember, the driver of the 67, Greg Wood Jr., he is on the tail end of the lead lap right now. Collins fading upward right now. Might have been overheating in that 72 truck for as much as he was on the back bumper of Greg Wood Jr. But the gap between these drivers is dwindling very quickly. 1.3 seconds. And this group is coming with a full head of steam. The 46, the 84, and the 83. It's now a second. The draft will play into a factor here momentarily. Scott Adams hanging out in the back of this group. He's the first car 1 lap down. Hoping, praying that Greg Wood Jr. doesn't go a lap down in case calamity comes. .6 seconds between the 46 in 4th, and you can see him there in frame. The race is on with 4 laps to go. Here comes Jared Hayes thundering down the backstretch in the Superflow machine. Remember, he wrecked in stage 1. He went a lap down, and now he's leading the charge to the front, to the outside of Caleb Collins, getting picked up by Matthew Ericsson. Going 3 wide, pushing Sumner back to the lead. Sumner now playing both lanes. And Eddie Baker squirts to the low line. 3 wide, and Sumner's now stuck in the sucker hole. 46 and 84 now to the lead. These drivers not giving up on one another. Is tonight Dakota Ramsdell's night in the 83 truck? Can he get a win? The 84 damaged earlier in this race, had to go down pit road for repairs. You can still see some damage on the left front of that 84 machine. But right now, the cream has risen to the top. Your front 2, who've had Close run-ins in the past are now duking it out at Talladega. Sumner and Baker looking to outduel one another once again. 2 laps to go and a big push by Greg Wood Jr. as the 94 jettons out to the lead. Don't count the 83 out just yet. Off of turn 2, high line rolling. Baker on an island all alone. And now look at this. Here's his move. Dakota Ramsdell to the inside, being pushed by Matthew Erickson. Drivers at the bottom of the playoff bubble, now looking to team up against the guy who finds himself at the top of most running orders most weeks. Side by side, gonna try to get the white. Can they survive through the tri-oval with no hindrances? Huge push here from Greg Wood Jr. all over the back bumper of Justin Sumner. White flag lap is out presented by Tier 1 Setup Shop. Sumner rolling through 1 and 2, getting pushed by the 67. The bottom lane gains another competitor here in Eddie Baker. Dakota Ramsdell looking, is whip wobbly off the corner, and Sumner's up in the air. Ramsdell, they're gonna race it back to the line. Everybody's junk. Ramsdell finds his way on the other side of the wreck. The gap continues to grow. The driver of the Big Tex Autoplex 83 machine has lamented about his misfortune most of the season, being close time and time again, looking for victory and not finding it. Luck finds him here in Mobile, Alabama, and Dakota Ramsdell wins at Talladega. Jared Hayes and Caleb Collins will finish second and third, and put a feather in your cap, Dakota, getting the win here at Talladega to open the playoffs. What a race. And he got a little wobbly here off of turn 2. Let's take a look at this wreck. It actually starts with Dakota getting wobbly here off the front bumper of Erickson. Just upsets the 84. Look at this hard hit. Greg Wood Jr. gets into it. But yeah, the momentum change there from the 83 off the corner. Bunches up the bottom lane. You can watch that 83 get a little bit out of shape. Look at Erickson peeking, gets into his back bumper a little bit, gets a little bit upset. 84's coming. You can see the pipes out of Erickson. And not a whole lot of space to go there. Sumner threatens to flip over. Driver spin out of control. Baker gets tagged there by Erickson hard into the fence. Look at the 72 and 46 make their way through this. Remember, they finished second and third in this thing. They're able to find their way through. Barely. Look at Caleb Collins putting his foot in it. trying to get to the 46 here. And this is the battle for third back to the line, or the battle for second rather. Hayes will eke out Caleb Collins by 1/100th of a second. Right there. Doesn't get much closer than that. Oh my goodness. What a race. And we are going to bring in our winner, Dakota Ramsdell. It's been a long time coming for this guy. Dakota, it's Zach Woods up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
You finally found some luck here at Talladega. Man, oh man, the Big Tex Autoplex machine was running well all night long, and in a season where we've lamented about just how well you've run and it hasn't translated into wins. You put another great race together, and luck finds you finally here at Talladega. Talk to the fans about your race here tonight.
Man, that was crazy, wasn't it? Man, I don't even know what happened. I seen him wrecking behind me, and I looked ahead, and I was like, "Well, that's it. Like, I'm up here. Like, nobody else is around me. I mean, the nearest guy was 2 seconds, and he was dropping, and I was like, what? You know that." That's it. I was cheering coming through 3 and 4. Man, that's crazy. It sucks. My crew chief couldn't make it tonight. He had some things that he had to handle, and hopefully all my friends and families watching. My wife came in and started celebrating with us. Man, we needed that. This season has been insane, and we have put together a pretty decent season. We just couldn't get that win, and finally we got that win.
Oh, it was one of the bigger storylines going through the season, and here you are, finally a winner. That last green flag stretch of pit stops, you guys were outnumbered and outgunned and managed to still catch that front group.
Yeah, so I knew the 94 was going to have to pit early, and my original plan was I was going to dive in with them because whoever pit, whatever group pit on the first time, I mean, 9 times out of 10, they're going to come out and they're going to have the lead. And so I was going to go in with them, and they got up there running and they dove into pit lane, and I just totally missed it. I was kind of daydreaming at that point. And then so I was like, well, I got one more shot, to get into a group, and I came out third in that group. And luckily they slowed up a little bit. Huge shout out to Baker and I believe it was Hayes. And we hooked up and we were able to catch them. And of course, y'all seen it. We caught them, 2 laps to go. And once we got up there, it was just a matter of trying to get situated and run it until we can make a move. And I mean, I wasn't expecting anybody to really wreck at that spot in the track. I was thinking it was going to be a big one on the tri-oval, and then that happened, and here we are, dude. That's wild.
Oh, man. Well, you finally climbed the mountain and snapped a win here at Talladega. Do you have any thank you sponsors or shout-outs you want to give for the effort tonight?
Huge shout-out to my family, to my wife, celebrating with me. We got one. Huge shout out to Big Tex Autoplex, my buddy Chase down there. If y'all need any used cars, they're super clean used cars. Just give him a shout, bigtexautoplex.com. Tell him I sent you, and he'll work with you. They can ship all over the nation. Shout out to Deckmate and Pontoon Stuff for supporting me and all my friends and family that are watching. And yeah, man, I'm stoked.
I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are, man. Go and enjoy it.
Shoot, yeah, man. I appreciate it.
That's Dakota Ramsdale snagging a victory. And now we're going to bring up our second place finisher, Jared Hayes. You have a copy?
I'm here.
Man, we left you for long and forgotten there for a little while as misfortune found you early, but you fought back real hard in that Superflow 46 machine, got back on the lead lap, and clawed your way back up through the field. Talk to the fans about your race tonight.
Yeah, that was a heck of a run. First of all, I got to apologize to Frank Chavez, that first incident there. The whole iRacing thing where it tells you you're clear, and I go to move down, and I wasn't clear, but couldn't see him. I got into him, so I ended up ruining his night, and I took some pretty good damage too. So, yeah, I went a lap down trying to repair, and just kind of hung back there, bided my time, repaired again under the stage break, and then even I think on the second stage, I think I was down to like 15 seconds to repair. And I knew going into it, I think I'm 3 points below the cut line or something like that. So I needed to either win or have a good night. So I knew it was going to be a long road after that. Managed to get a few stage points, I think, in the second stage. And then I just went for broke there at the end. I didn't have any teammates running with me tonight, so I was kind of in the dark of when everyone was going to pit there. I was out front or right up front, and I think half the field dipped in to top off on fuel. And so I just stayed with the guys that were out there. And of course, so we come in, maybe was it 8-10 laps later, they all start peeling off. So I'm like, well, I guess here we go. And we come back out, and the lead pack went by us. I think they had about 5 seconds on us, and we ran them down with 3 laps to go. And I went for it, and I knew there was going to be some blocking, and I tried to weave through it the best I could. I almost got out front there, and then I got hung out to dry. Everybody went by me on the inside with 2 laps to go, and I'm like, well, it's over. And then we started clawing our way back, got to the last lap, and then mayhem happened, and somehow I come out second. So what a night.
Well, we're on board right now looking at your perspective of the wreck. It's crazy that it's through your cockpit you're able to see the 94 sideways in front of you, up in the air, and then immediately facing nose to you, going however fast you're going down the backstretch. So a great wreck avoidance there. Do you have any thank you, sponsors, or shout outs you want to give for tonight's event?
I got to thank Devin Lockridge, Red Bull, for putting this on, you guys for putting this broadcast on.
Well, go and enjoy it, man.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Devin Lockridge. Shout out to RC tonight. Let's pull up. Let's pull up now a guy who doesn't have to finish 7th to get some glory tonight. He'll finish 3rd. It's Caleb Collins.
What's up, Zach? How's the weather up there in the Talladega booth?
It's pretty wild, but not as wild as that last lap. As you guys were jockeying for position, we made note of Caleb dropping back and kind of biding his time, and then calamity happened, and you decided, hey, I'm just gonna weave through this and get a podium. Talk to the fans about your night tonight.
Yeah, it did. About busted my butt down there on the apron, too. I was like, oh, I'll just go down to the apron and dodge this wreck, and then forgot all about all the marbles that were hanging out down on the apron, just lying in wait for my rear tires. But we almost played it perfectly. The reason I was dropping back there was actually to save fuel. I ran out on the backstretch after the checkered flag. But I think we would have had it planned perfect, but we didn't count on 2 cars getting caught for speeding on pit road, so we kind of lost a little bit of speed. We were going to have like a 5 or 6 car pack there, we thought, just string nose to tail and probably make hay. So that didn't quite work out, and but good job for Dakota and those guys catching up to us. And then, yeah, I was saving fuel once they caught us, and just looking at the number and looking back up and looking at the number and looking back up, and finally coming to the white, I was like, okay, I gotta go, and let's just see what happens. And then calamity broke out. It looked like Matt was trying to stay off of Dakota. I think maybe Dakota got a little loose out of 2, or Matt maybe just got a big run, but was trying to check up to not run into Dakota, and Eddie just didn't get the message, it looked like, and already had some damage on the nose anyways, and super speedway stuff from there. But pretty exciting way to finish it. I know I'm happy if I can't win it. It's cool that another guy from Texas can win the thing, right? So good there, and a good points day. Good run by Jared there at the end, getting me at the line, and had just enough fuel to finish. So altogether, can't be too disappointed with it.
Well, do you have any thank you, sponsors, or shout outs you want to give for tonight's effort here at DEGA?
Oh, you bet. Got to thank the good Lord for giving me the means to enjoy this hobby, and putting me here in 2025 when we can do this sort of thing and have fun with people all the way across the world. Got to thank the missus in the house for taking care of the kids while I get to come out here and do this and hang out with you guys. You guys for doing the broadcast, admins for putting the league together. It's a blast coming out here every Monday, and looking forward to broadcasting tomorrow's race. That looks like it's going to be a blast too. I think we're going to Charlotte, so looking forward to that tomorrow night. AW Workshop, of course, livingwater.family, and everybody watching the race at home or wherever you're taking it in. Hope we put on a good show for you.
All right. Well, you go and enjoy that podium tonight.
Yep, got to take them where I can get them.
All right, take care. That will be your third place finisher, Caleb Collins, in the AW Workshop 72. Let's take a look at your finishing results for tonight. Dakota Ramsdell finally is able to get the monkey off his back and get a win here in Tier 1 Truck Series competition with Jared Hayes and Caleb Collins rounding out your top three. Justin Sumner and Matthew Erickson, strong opening run for Matt here to begin his playoff run in fifth. Eddie Baker sixth. Dave Harrington, what I tell you, just knocking out solid finishes in seventh. Scott Milliken eighth. Bill Sleep ninth. David Mayo 10th. And Greg Wood Jr. is going to finish 11th with Thomas Adams, Jordan Barube, and Frank Chavez rounding out your field. We really hope that you guys enjoyed the Tier 1 Truck Series action here from Talladega, presented to you by Tier 1 Setup Shop. And we hope that you enjoyed what you saw here. If you do, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss a thing in terms of what Tier 1 has to offer. For the production booth, Brett Bullard, my name is Zach Woods, and we cannot wait to get back to racing here real soon. Take care, everybody.